Hi, welcome back to GP Concepts. In the last session, we discussed about how to apply in API website, API ICP portal. As I mentioned, today we are going to start API 570 Piping Inspection Certification. We can start the session with effectivity sheet. Please look into this effectivity sheet.
Here comes the effectivity sheet for API 570 exam. In this, April 2018 code of 570 should be used, and 571 should be 2011 code second edition, and 574 should be fourth edition 2016, and 577 should be 2013 second edition. As per this, the latest code should be used for the exams. And addition to this, you can see 574. Okay, I already told about that. There are 4 ASME codes to be used, that is section 5, section 9, B16.5 and 31.3. all should be latest edition.
Body of knowledge. Here comes the body of knowledge for API 570 certification.
You can see the body of knowledge of API 570. In the main thing, you have to check the examination have 2 parts. One is closed book and another one is open book. You can see this here. I highlighted this. Okay. The next, the reference publications. API 570, 571, 574, 577 welding, and 578 it's material verification program MVP. And ASME publications, as I mentioned before, section 5, 9 and 16.5 and 31.3 process piping. Here, as I highlighted, you can see the inspector must be able to calculate corrosion rates, remnant life and inspection interval. These are the 3 calculations it should come in the examination. Definitely it will come. It's closed book exam. Okay, this is coming in closed book part. And next thing, weld joint efficiency and casting quality factors. You can see this is in from P31.3 process piping. You can see as I highlighted, so the table A1A and table A1B. One is belongs to weld joint efficiency, other one is belongs to casting quality factor. And definitely a question will come from this for sure. So should practice questions based on these these are the calculations in the exam. Okay. The weld joint quality factor, it is a part of internal pressure problem also. Okay, it's as EJ. Okay, it's one of the usage factor. And in addition to that, there is an important part, that is minimum required thickness calculation. One is the minimum required thickness or pressure design thickness of a straight pipe. You have to calculate that. Other one, the minimum required thickness of a permanent blank for a given design pressure. The MAWP, maximum allowable working pressure for a corroded pipe. Based on that, you have to calculate. The first 2 items are from ASME B31.3. The third one, the MAWP calculation, is from 570. Here, the inspector should be able to demonstrate knowledge concerning the hydro testing for pneumatic leak testing, calculate the hydrostatic or pneumatic leak test pressure. This is as per ASME B31.3. It's in the part 345.45, this area. Okay, so you have to do calculation based on that. Next one is impact testing. There's a graph in ASME B31.3. Determine the minimum metal temperature of material which exempt from impact testing. Which category that it can be exempted from impact testing. Determine the minimum required char P V notch impact values for a given material. This is from a graph. It's available in ASME B31.3. And next is preheating and heat treatment requirements. the inspector should be able to determine which well sizes require preheating or heat treatment. This is very important. And thermal expansion, the inspector should be able to determine the total thermal expansion of material between temperature. This is also, it's in appendix C, table C1. And the next one is minimum wall thickness and working pressure for flanges. These are the calculations related to flanges. Determine the working pressure of minimum or maximum system hydrostatic pressure for a flange of a specified material and all. This I will discuss more in ASME B 16.5 session. Okay. So the next is the minimum required thickness of a permanent blind. We have to calculate. It's based on ASME B 31.3. This also I will discuss when discussing this ASME B 31.3. This portion, no need to cover. These portions are exempted from the exam scope, so no need to look into this for the exam. The next one is ASME section 9, welding procedure and qualification evaluation. I will conduct another session for this the welding procedure and qualification evaluation. Anyway, but you can see the body of knowledge in that. SMAW, GTAW, GMAW or SAW. These are the only welding procedure will be included in this exam. And you can see, as I highlighted, these are the assured things like P1, P3, P4, P5 and P8 material only will be asked for the exam. In the exam, what they will ask, there will be one WPS, PQR will give. A PQR will be related to that WPS. Okay, so you have to find out the mistakes in that. What are the mistakes? So in that case, you have to know how to prepare a WPS and what are the terms and conditions in ASME section 9. I will explain you all these things very clearly in the session ASME section 9. It requires a separate session for it. Definitely cover in that. Okay. In case of welding, the body of knowledge says the inspector should be familiar with understand the general rules of welding as per ASME B 31.3 chapter 5 also. There are general things, and also in APA 570 there are some mentioning about the welding procedure. APA authorized piping inspector should know that PQR and WPQ must be signed and dated. There are some conditions in 570 also related to welding procedures, so you should be familiar with that also. Okay, the inspector shall be familiar with all the requirements of API recommended practice 577. It's a recommended practice 577. It's also covered in this exam, so should look into that 577. In due course we will cover 577 also. The next thing, section 5, NDT. I'm sure you all are familiar with this NDT. You all should be having this NDT level 2 certificate. So you are familiar with this session, ASME section 5. So should cover, you can see the body of knowledge. These things should be covered for that exam. There are many questions. It will be coming from NDT session. In addition to this course preparation, API 570 demands some practical knowledge. So some questions will be coming definitely based on your practical knowledge in this field. So you can say this 1 to 19 topics, you should have some sort of knowledge in this. Okay. The next code is API recommended practice 571. It's damage mechanism. No need to cover all the damage mechanism in this recommended practice. Only the mentioned one like erosion, mechanical failure, whatever related to piping systems only mentioned here. You need to cover only that. No need to read all the damage mechanisms. Okay. And the next one is recommended practice 574. This is the inspection of piping, tubing, valves and fittings. Entire document is subjected to testing. Next is 577, as I mentioned before, welding inspection and metallurgy. Entire document you have to read. The next one is API RP 578. This is material verification. This also to be covered completely for the exam. Then ASME B16.5, pipe flanges and flanger fittings. The mentioned items are to be covered under this code. Only these things to be covered as a theory. Problems I already explained.
Even though there are a lot of codes to be covered in APA 570 exam scope, the main codes in that are APA 570 and ASME B31.3 process piping code. Now, at first, we will discuss about APA 570. I'm going to present different topics in APA 570 main code. Please keep in mind, it's not enough to pass the examination. It will give you a guidance to approach the exam. Please keep in mind again, you have to cover APA 570 code completely because it is a main code.
Please look into these points related to the coverage. APA 570 covers inspection, repair, alteration and re-rating procedure for metallic piping system that have been in service. That's important. The next point, APA 570 was developed for the petroleum refining and chemical process industry, but many other industries also using this. APA 570 shall not be used as a substitute for the original construction requirements governing a piping system before it is placed in service. That means there should be, if there is a conflict between these two, that should be, means the construction requirement should be prevailed. The exclusions of APA 570. You should read these 7 points for that. Piping system on movable structures covered by jurisdictional regulations. Piping system that are an integral part of a component of a rotating equipment or reciprocating equipment. Internal piping or tubing of fire heaters, pressure vessels, heaters, furnaces, heat exchangers, etc. Plumbing, sanitary sewers, etc. Piping or tubing with an outside diameter not exceeding that of ½ inch. Non-metallic piping, polymeric or glass lined piping, etc. These things are not covered. The next part is definitions. You should know very well the definition of alteration. What is alteration? You should read it in the code actually. And applicable code. The code section or other recognized and generally accepted engineering standard. These all things you should learn very properly. And what is ASME B31.3 refers to. Okay, these portions covers different definitions of APA 570. You have to read very carefully and make it thorough because definitely there are a lot of questions coming in this portion. Okay, I'm not gonna read all of these things for you guys because it's required pure reading. That's it. You can see auxiliary piping. What is auxiliary piping? And critical check valves. The next point, CUI. Practically you have to know that what is corrosion under insulation and dead legs. These are the main threat in oil and gas industry. These are dead legs. One of the major concerns in oil and gas industry. You should know what are dead legs. What is dead leg? There is a stagnancy in the flow. It's called dead legs. Okay. Then what is hold point? What is the difference between imperfections and indications? This is normally asking question. Imperfections and indications. Normally, definitely there will be one question related to that. Imperfections are flaws or other discontinuities noted during inspection that may be subject to acceptance criteria. Indications, a response or evidence resulting from the application of non-destructive valuation technique. Indication, there's no need to be rejected. Indications, no need to be imperfection. Hope you understand. The next is injection point. injection point locations where relatively small quantities of materials are injected into the stream. And what is in service? What is the definition of inspector? What is jurisdiction? What is level bridle? You should know all these things. And next is, what is MAWP? Maximum allowable working pressure. The definition of MAWP. What is mixing T? The NDT MT, magnetic particle testing. And what is NPS? This is the size of pipes. Okay, on stream. These all things. What is the PWHT? Post well heat treatment. And repair. What is the definition for repair? And what is repair organization? This is very important. You can definitely expect a question in that. What is repair organization? An owner or user of piping system who repairs owner or user itself. The second category is a contractor whose qualifications are acceptable to the owner. Third one who is authorized by, acceptable to, otherwise not prohibited by the jurisdiction. These are the three categories in repair organization. And what is re-rating? A change in either or both the design temperature or maximum allowable working pressure of piping system. Next category is secondary process piping system. Small bore pipings downstream of normally closed block valves are called secondary piping system. Small bore piping, what is small boring? Less than 2-inch piping systems are called small bore piping system in the industry. And what is soil to air interface connection? It's very important. Soil to air interface. What are the area to be covered for soil to air interface inspection? Definitely there will be a question from that. And what is called a spool? A section of piping is called spool. These all are the definitions to be covered. Next is, what is temper embrittlement? What is called temporary repair, test point, thickness measurement location, TMLs. Currently it's called condition monitoring locations. It's not TML anymore. It's called CMLs. WFMT, alloy material. What is material verification program? We have, you know, that PMI programs and positive material identification programs. These all are the definition you must read and you should understand yourself. Nobody can teach you this. And what is PMI? Positive Material Identification Testing. What is FFS? Fitness for Service Assessment. It's a methodology conducting for a fitness for service. And what is off-site piping? On-site piping. Okay. Then now, what is the definition of a corrosion specialist? And what is the difference between pressure design thickness, required thickness, and structural minimum thickness? Minimum thickness without corrosion elements is called pressure design thickness. Okay. Required thickness, the greater of the pressure design thickness or the structural minimum thickness should be considered for minimum required thickness calculations. Okay. What is structural minimum thickness? Minimum thickness without corrosion elements based on structural and other loadings other than hoop stress. This is called structural minimum thickness. When you are calculating the minimum required thickness for a piping system, you have to consider higher of this pressure design thickness, means minimum required thickness, calculated minimum required thickness, and structural minimum thickness. The next session is responsibilities. Here we are discussing about the responsibilities of user or owner. There are some many points related to user and owner responsibilities. You have to definitely read this. So these all points, any question can be asked from these points, because they will put one point from this, and it is the responsibility of whom it can be asked. Okay. So definitely you have to read properly and you have to understand this. The next is what is the responsibility of piping engineer. Piping engineer is responsible for activities involved in design, engineering review, etc. And what is the responsibility of a repair organization? You have to read it. I already explained what is called a repair organization and what is involved in that. Okay. Then other is other personnel like operating, maintenance, or who has special knowledge or their expertise in some zone of operations. So you have to know. It can be asked from that. It's from your practical knowledge. You should be aware about that, the role of other personnel.
As you know, APA 570 itself a big scope, so it is not possible to cover in a single session. So the balance portion will be covered in the coming weeks. So please stay tuned and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon. GP Concepts. Bye bye.